What's going to be on Rachel Reeves' budget bingo card? We all know that she'll arrive in the House of Commons on November the 26th and will sound calm and confident. But the fact is that all of that will be built on an illusion. She'll claim that GDP is growing and that fiscal rules are being complied with and she's being ultra-responsible. The same tired mantras that have been rolled out by Chancellor after Chancellor after Chancellor, I think there have been 9 of them, since Gordon Brown first introduced the idea of fiscal rules in 1997. But the fact is, we also know that she's going to roll out tax rises and spending cuts this time, and that's also the same old stuff which hasn't worked time after time after time for all those same chancellors who've tried it. Behind the slogans, something else is going on, and that is a global financial crisis is brewing. The truth is, that's the thing that's never going to be mentioned on Rachel Reeves' budget bingo card. Bitcoin is already declining. Some of the more esoteric cryptocurrencies have fallen through the floor when it comes to value, and global stock markets are trembling. The Economist, the Bank of England, the IMF, all of them are warning the next crash is coming and it could be worse than 2008. They're saying trillions of dollars, trillions of pounds, if you like, as well, will be lost. And yet, the UK government is pretending that isn't going to happen. And the one thing you can be sure of about the coming budget is there is no plan for what happens if that crash occurs. Reeves will talk about stability and confidence, but she won't talk about falling markets or fragile banks or a fragile shadow banking system, which we do have in the UK, let me assure you. She will promise prudence, just as the global financial system is about to unravel, if it hasn't already by the time she gets to November the 26th. And a budget that ignores reality isn't responsible. It's reckless. Her fallback claim will be that the economy is growing again. It grew by 0.1% in August, which is the square root of diddly squat when it comes down to looking at these things. The difference from zero is so small as to be irrelevant. We're not seeing real growth, in other words. And anyway, GDP, her chosen measure of growth, measures transactions and not resilience or well-being. It rises with increasing debt, higher pollution, and increased speculation, all of which are now peaking. This isn't growth, or not the sort that anybody would want. What she's actually describing is the unsustainable build-up before a collapse. Pretending that everything's fine will not stop that crash happening. And without strong public policy, the crash to come will hit ordinary people hardest, as it always has. The rich will be bailed out again. The poorest will pay again. Socialism is always for the wealthy and never for the poorest. Facing reality is not on Rachel Reeves' budget bingo card. A real budget would acknowledge the fact that we're facing this crisis head on. It would talk about how we can create resilience and ensure that this really does never happen again. It would talk about regulating markets, taxing wealth, or at least the income and gains from wealth, and it would protect essential services. It would reject fiscal rules because they have so obviously failed, and it would talk about delivering the Green New Deal that we've always needed and that everybody knows we must have if we are to manage the impact of climate change and build a sustainable economy in which we can all live. But instead, Rachel Reeves is playing budget bingo while the markets burn. That's what she'll go down in history for. This will be the budget that is a precursor for a disaster. Thanks for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do click the like and subscribe buttons because they do genuinely help us spread the word on YouTube. As importantly, could you have a look at the section below this video where it says more? And there you'll find a link to my blog And if you follow that for the specific link to the blog entry related to this video, you'll find a transcript of this video and lots of other related material, plus a ChatGPT prompt that you could use to write a letter to your MP on the contents of this video, which will turn you into a campaigner, which will be a great thing to do. Finally, if you do appreciate the work we're doing, can you think about giving us a donation? If you'd like to do so, there's a link below, or you can find one on my blog where there's a Ko-fi button saying, please buy me a coffee. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.